Once again, Boker Tov, Gemar Chatima Tova, and welcome to everyone here in the sanctuary and everyone watching at home on live stream. We are going to continue in just a moment on page 135. But first, a couple of quick announcements. First, to introduce myself for those who may be watching at home for the first time. I'm Rabbi Paul Sidlovsky here at Temple Isaiah, along with Calix Jacobson, our cantorial student, and Dan Fogel, our accompanist. We will be leading the service this morning for you and look forward to worshiping together. This day is, as we know, very important to us individually, as a congregation, and as a Jewish community. There has been a wonderful feeling here of being back in the sanctuary. I've heard the comments from many people. And a very positive atmosphere at our service, and I'm very glad to hear that. We also remember the importance of contrition and the fact that we are here today to reflect on the things that we have done wrong over the past year, whether it seems almost a distant memory by now or something very recent, even in the last hours. We all come to remember that everyone can be forgiven. We seek forgiveness from God, from each other, and most importantly from ourselves for the things that we have done. But we also look with hope to the future, knowing that we can improve. With that in mind, we'll continue on page 135. We'll read together. We stand this day, all of us, in the presence of our God, youth and elders, women and men, those close to tradition and those who have been estranged. All are welcome in this community of prayer. Around the world, all Israel greets this holy day. We stand with them, a people united by our history and fate, linked in mind and heart to generations past, who stood before God to be cleansed of their sins, in Russia, Poland, Germany, and Spain, in Morocco, Egypt, Brazil, and India. Our great-grandparents are here with us this day, and our great-great-grandchildren as well. All are present in memory and hope. We stand this sacred morning, all of us as one. Page 142. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, supreme power of the universe. You sanctify our lives with mitzvot and give us sacred obligation of learning and living Torah. Page 175. Our sovereign God, source of holiness and greatness, may your name be praised forever in this world and beyond. Eternal One, God of our mothers and fathers, your strength, sanctity, glory, and dominion are deserving of song, praise, poetry, hymn, sacred chant, and blessings of thankfulness for all time and eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign of praise, source of the impulse to give thanks, crown of wonders who desires a world filled with song and a universe of life. We'll continue now on page 176 with Chatzi Kaddish.
Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei, ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei techo beit Yisrael, v'hagala u'v'zeman karib, v'yimeru Shemei Rabbah mevarach, me'olam u'lamei alma.
Page 178, please rise as we join together in Baruch. Page 181. Like an unbroken current, energy streams from the source, bathing the planet in light, calling forth life, movement, mind unfolding from matter, the power to love, and we offer it back to you, our own creative energy, ever dreaming, building, shaping patterns out of chaos, searching out light in the darkness. Creation never ceases, not for an instant. All life is aglow with your light. All things draw sustenance from the source. Page 185. Hineni, behold, I stand ready to listen and learn, to embrace in thought and deed, to proclaim with a whole heart the sacred unity of all being. Baruch atah Adonai, abocher ba'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Our praise to you, Adonai. You have singled out your people Israel with love. We'll continue on the following page with Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai.
We'll continue with Ve'ahavta, page 188. Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha Hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lechtecha b'derech, u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihiyot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Page 194. Let's read together in the middle. From Egypt you redeemed us, Adonai our God, and from the slave house you set us free. For this, the people who felt your love exalted you. and the ones you found precious sang hymns of praise, blessing, and thanks. To the living God who reigns forever, high and exalted, inspiring wonder, who humbles the proud and raises the lowly, who frees the captive, redeems the oppressed, and sustains the poor. God responds to the cry of our people, their prayer in time of need. Sing praise to God Most High, most blessed source of blessing, as Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang this joyous song to you. Page 196. We'll continue with Tefillah, beginning on page 198 and the following pages. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei v'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo v'Ahava. Sefer לחיים ורחמים. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. Amen.
Please be seated. We'll continue on page 213 with the section, the important prayer Untitled Chapter, which says that this day is a day of great awe, great importance. It teaches us that on this day it's determined, as it has been over the last 10 days of these high holy days, who will live and who will die. And while in this day and age we may not be able to accept those words literally, we have to understand that they have importance to us and they have value. And that it teaches us, even though it may not be literally true that it's determined on this very day, we take this time to reflect on our deeds and our words, to realize that everything we do, everything we say, has consequences. And though it may be forgotten by us or by others, it is never completely forgotten. And that we have to be accountable for what we have done to others and to ourselves. And with that in mind, we enter this section of our service and reflect on the deeds of the past year and looking toward the future. The power of this day. An empty page, an open book, a day of ultimate questions. Will I still be here next year at this time with the ones I love beside me? What is in store for my family? And what will become of my friends? Who will have reason to celebrate? Who will contend with grief? New love, new babies, marriages deepening or breaking apart, prosperity, struggle, reversals of fortune, illness, and health await us. Who will be missing when we gather next? Who will stand apart? Who will be estranged? And who will have joined us enriching our community? On the edge of the unknown we tremble. What lies ahead for us all? An empty page, an open book. Nothing is written and nothing is sealed. Flesh and blood, frail creatures, our lives are fleeting and subject to change, to chance. Yet this we possess, the strength to persist, to prevail, to comfort one another in the dark. Prayer, right action, a turning toward the good. These give us hope and help us bear the pain of life. We turn back to page 208. Let us proclaim the power of this day, a day whose holiness awakens deepest awe and inspires highest praise for your dominion. For your throne is a throne of love, your reign is a reign of truth. In truth you are judge and plaintiff, counselor and witness. You inscribe and seal, you record and recount. You remember all that we have forgotten, and when you open the book of memories, it speaks for itself. For every human hand leaves its mark, an imprint like no other. Page 210. And so a great shofar will cry, Tekiah. A still small voice will be heard. Angels in a whirl of fear and trembling will say, Behold the day of judgment, for they too are judged in your eyes, even as they are not blameless. All who come into the world pass before you like sheep before their shepherd. As a shepherd considers the flock when it passes beneath a staff, you count and consider every life. You set bounds, you decide destiny, you inscribe judgments. Page 212.
Berosh Hashanah Yikatevun Uvyom Tzom Kippur Uvyom Tzom Kippur Yikatevun Uvyom Tzom Kippur Uvyom Tzom Kippur Yikatevun Berosh Hashanah Yikatevun Uvyom Tzom Kippur Uvyom Tzom Kippur Yekatevun Uteshuva Utefila Utzedakah Ma'avirin et Ragezerah.
On Rosh Hashanah, this is written. On the fast of Yom Kippur, this is sealed. How many will pass away from this world? How many will be born into it? Who will live and who will die? Who will reach the ripeness of age? Who will be taken before their time? Who by fire and who by water? Who by war and who by beast? Who by famine and who by drought? Who by earthquake and who by plague? Who by strangling and who by stoning? Who will rest and who will wander? Who will be tranquil and who will be troubled? Who will be calm and who tormented? Who will live in poverty and who in prosperity? Who will be humbled and who exalted? Page 214. But through return to the right path, through prayer and righteous giving, we can transcend the harshness of the decree. You are everything that we praise you for, slow to anger, quick to forgive. You do not wish the death of sinners, but urge them to return from their ways and live. Until the day of death, you wait for them. You accept them at once if they return. Since you created us, you know our impulses. We are but flesh and blood. Page 216. We read together. We who are mortal, our origin is dust, and so is our end. We wear out our lives to get our bread, like broken vessels, like withered grass, like a flower that must fade, a shadow moving on, a cloud passing by, mere dust on the wind, a dream that flies away. But for you, the ever-living sovereign, time has no limits. Your presence, unbounded by days and years, is everywhere. A glorious mystery none can decipher. Your name is worthy of you, and you are worthy of your name. And our name you have linked with yours. Page 218. Please rise once again.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום. ככתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלך הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו, אדיר אדירנו, אדוני, אדוני, אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא מלכנו, מושיענו, והוא ישמיענו, והוא ישמיענו, והוא ישמיענו, לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה.
We'll continue on page 232. Please be seated. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, ya'aleh ve'yavo ve'yagia ve'yera'eh ve'yeratzeh, ve'yishama ve'yipaked ve'yizacher zichronenu v'ikdonenu, v'zichron avotenu ve'imotenu, v'zichron Yerushalayim yer kodshecha, v'zichron kol amcha beit Yisrael lefanecha lifleita letova, lechen ulechesed ulerachamim lechayim uleshalom, b'yom hakippurim hazeh. We read together, Our God and God of the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness, together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace on this day of atonement.
זוכרנו אלוהינו בו לטובה,
Amen.
ופוקדנו בו לברכה,
Amen.
והושיענו בו לחיים.
Amen. Eternal our God, remember us,
Amen.
be mindful of us,
Amen.
and redeem us for life, a life of goodness and blessing.
Amen.
Page 244. We read together in the middle. Our God, divine presence, whose path our ancestors walked, bless us now with words first bestowed on Israel in the time of Moses and Aaron, the threefold blessing given us through Torah that joins our hopes with theirs. May God bless you and protect you. May it be so. May you receive the light of God's kindness and grace. May it be so. May God bestow favor upon you and give you peace. May it be so.
Eloheinu ve'Eloi avotenu ve'imotenu, baruchenu bavracha memshuleshet haktuva b'Torah, hamura mipi kohanim toshecha ka'amur. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, ken yehi ratzon. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yikuneka, ken yehi ratzon. Yisar Adonai panav elecha v'yisemicha shalom, ken yehi ratzon.
We'll continue with Sim Shalom, Prayer for Peace, page 246.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, amecha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. 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 Sim shalom, tova בספר חיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה. בספר חיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה.
Take a moment now for individual silent prayer and reflection. We'll continue now with Avinu Malkeinu, page 252, and that will be followed immediately by Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for the reading of Torah, beginning on page 255. Please rise.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamal aleinu. Ve'alol aleinu, v'tapeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kalei dever, v'cherev v'raf, me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kalei chotzar, u'mastin, me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu missefer chaim tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, Chodesh aleinu, Chodesh aleinu, Shana tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chodesh aleinu, Shana tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'aneinu, ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed, ve'oshiyenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'aneinu, ki ein banu masim. We continue with the Torah service on page 255. Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kema'asecha. Malchutecha malchut kol olamim, יברך את עמו בשלום. אב הרחמים היטיבה ברצונך את ציון. תבנה חומות ירושלים. תבנה חומות ירושלים. כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך רם ונישא אדון עולמים. אדוני, אדוני, רחום וחנון, ארך אפיים ורב חסד ואמת, נוצר חסד לאלפים, נוצר עוון ופשע וחטא ונקה. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו. גדלו לאדוני איתי, ונרוממו שמו יחדיו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד. כי כה בשמיים ובארץ, כי כה בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה, ונתנשא לכל ראש. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו.
Please be seated. And we'll continue now with the reading of Torah. The blessings can be found on page 258. And the reading can be found from Nitzavim for Yom Kippur morning, Deuteronomy chapter 29 and 30, beginning on page 266.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. אתם ניצבים היום כולכם לפני אדוני אלוהיכם, ראשיכם שבטיכם, זקניכם ושוטריכם, כל איש ישראל, טפכם נשיכם וגרך אשר בקרב מחנך, מחוטי ביצך עד שואב מימיך, לעוברך בברית אדוני אלוהיך ובעלתו, אשר אדוני אלוהיך כורת עמך היום, למען הקים אותך היום לו לעם, והוא יהיה לך לאלוהים, כאשר דיבר לך, וכאשר נשבע לאבותיך, לאברהם, ליצחק ויעקב. ולא איתכם לבדכם, אנוכי כורת את הברית הזאת ואת העלה הזאת, כי את אשר ישנו פה עמנו עומד היום לפני אדוני אלוהינו, ואת אשר איננו פה עמנו היום. כי המצווה הזאת אשר אנוכי מצווך היום, לא נפלאתי ממך ולא רחוקה היא, לא בשמיים היא לאמור, מי יעלה לנו השמיימה ויקחיה לנו, וישמיענו אותה ונעשנה, ולא מעבר לים היא לאמור, מי יעבור לנו אל עבר הים ויקחיה לנו, וישמיענו אותה ונעשנה, כי קרוב אליך הדבר מאוד, בפיך ובלבבך לעשותו. ראה נתתי לפניך היום את החיים ואת הטוב, ואת המוות ואת הרע, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום לאהבה את אדוני אלוהיך, ללכת בדרכיו ולשמור מצוותיו וחוקותיו ומשפטיו, וחיית ורבית וברכך אדוני אלוהיך בארץ אשר אתה ושמה לרשתה.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
אמן. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה, הוא יברך וירפא את כל חולי ישראל ואת כל חולי אדם. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are in need of healing. On this Yom Kippur, we think especially of Saul Steinweiss, Judy Grubb, Jay Gardner, Patricia Kozer, Clyde Hudgens, Lloyd Newman, Abraham Miller, Karen LeCastro, Jennifer Singer, Peter Stampoulos, Irene Ruddock, Larry Yellen, Chris Baumler, Keith Thomas Jr., Judy Lesser, Norma Kaplan, Irene Schmidt, Cindy Braun, Jennifer Civillo, Miguel Baez, Nina Lieberman, Richard Legger, Yehudit Bat Rachel, Martin Kahn, Carol Frisha, Eleanor Walsh, Nancy Blake, Lucas Hartman, Lindsay Hartman, Johnny Urquhart, Ruth Zuckerwise, Bob Vrigg, Chris DiBenedetto. We also pray for healing for servicemen and servicewomen who have been wounded or injured on behalf of our country. If you have name or names of someone who is sick or injured in need of healing, please feel free to mention the names as I look in your direction. Those watching on live stream, please feel free to mention names at the same time. V'tishlach lehem refuah shlema, refuat nefesh, refuat guf v'nomar. Amen. May God grant all of them, those whose names we have read and those whose names we have mentioned, those in our own hearts and minds, a complete and speedy healing, a healing of body and a healing of spirit. And we say together, Amen. And on page 273, we'll find words of healing, prayer for healing for loved ones, Misha Berach. And we'll continue on page 263, one of my favorite additions to this new Machzor. This is called A Blessing for Menschlichkeit. May the one who showered blessings on our ancestors rain blessings on those among us whose everyday deeds are without measure. All who honor parents and elders with love and respect, patience and sensitivity. All who give care to loved ones who are ill and those who accompany the dying. All who bring their warmth and hope to those who are confined, isolated, feeling despair. All who say prayers for loved ones and friends, and those whose faith inspires others to pray. All who go to Shiva Minyanim, console the bereaved and stay to listen. All who reach out to the widowed, the divorced, the jobless. All who welcome guests to Shabbat and holy day tables, and those who share their bread with the hungry. All who donate to causes that lift up the fallen, heal the sick, and heal the home we share, this earth. All who notice others, greet newcomers, extend a hand to those with special needs. And all who open doors to the future by caring for children, keeping them safe, teaching them trust, helping them cultivate lives of meaning and purpose. On this day of atonement, may they be inscribed for their worthy deeds. May May they be sealed for their acts of goodness and kindness. And let us say, Amen. We'll continue with Vizot HaTorah as the Torah is lifted, and then as we dress the Torah and return it to the Ark, Eitz Chaim Hi, page 274, and then page 291.
Vizot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Eitz Chaim Hi, למחזיקים בה,
Please be seated. Page 293. Because I was angry, because I didn't think, because I was exhausted and on edge, because I'd been drinking, because I can be mean, because I was reckless and selfish, because I was worried about money, because my marriage was dead, because other people were doing it, because I thought I could get away with it, because I did something wrong, because I'm in pain, because I wish I could undo it, because I hurt him, because I lost her trust, because I let them down, because I was self-destructive, because I was foolish, because I'm ashamed, because that's not who I am, because that's not who I want to be, because I want to be forgiven. God, bring down the walls of defensiveness and self-righteousness. Help me to stay in humility. Please give me the strength to do what's right. Page 296. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, tavo lefanecha tefilatenu, va'al tit alam mitchinatenu, anachnu azefanim ukshei oref, lomar lefanecha, Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, tzadikim anachnu v'lo chatanu, aval anachnu chatanu. We read together, Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence, and when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong. We'll continue on page 301. This is a personal confession. We'll read this silently. For all of these, eternal source of forgiveness, help me know myself to be pardoned. Help me feel in my bones that I'm forgiven. Remind me I'm always ready to be at one with you. Page 300. We'll continue with Al-Chet. We'll sing the Hebrew and read the English responsively.
על החטא שחטאנו לפניך באונס וברצון, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך ביודעים ובלא יודעים.
The ways we have wronged you under duress and by choice, and harm we have caused in your world consciously and unconsciously.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בבלי דעת, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בריזת רגליים והרה.
The ways we have wronged you through our thoughtlessness, and harm we have caused in your world through impulsive acts of malice.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בחוזק יד, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בזלזול הורים ומורים.
The ways we have wronged you by abusing our power, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך ביצר הרע, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בקשיות עורף.
The ways we have wronged you by giving in to our hostile impulses, and harm we have caused in your world through inflexibility and stubbornness.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בכחש וכזב, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בקלות ראש.
The ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world by making light of serious matters.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בשיחה כסיפותינו, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בצרות עין.
The ways we have wronged you in our routine conversations, and harm we have caused in your world through envy. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. Page 304.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בגלוי ובהסתר, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בשנאת חינם.
the ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world by hating without cause.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפריקת עול, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך במאכל ובמשתה.
The ways we have wronged you by losing self-control, and harm we have caused in your world through consumption of food and drink.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בגילוי עריות, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך באימוץ הלב.
The ways we have wronged you through sexual immorality, and harm we have caused in your world by hardening our hearts.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בנשך ומרבית, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך במשא ובמתן.
The ways we have wronged you through greed and exploitation, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בהרהור הלב, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך ברכילות.
The ways we have wronged you through our innermost thoughts, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בחפת שוחד, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בחילוך השם.
The ways we have wronged you by offering or accepting bribes, and harm we have caused in your world by profaning your name in public. Page 316. Hear our call, Adonai our God. Show us compassion. Accept our prayer with love and goodwill. Take us back, Adonai. Let us come back to you. Renew our days as in the past. Hear our words, Adonai. Understand our unspoken thoughts. May the speech of our mouth and our heart's quiet prayer be acceptable to you, Adonai, our rock and our Redeemer. Do not cast us away from your presence or cut us off from your Holy Spirit. Do not cast us away when we are old. As our strength diminishes, do not forsake us. Do not forsake us, Adonai. Be not far from us, our God. With hope, Adonai, we await you. Surely you, Adonai, our God, you will answer. I'd like to invite the president of our congregation, Dr. Phyllis Stern, for some important words for us this morning.
Shana Tova, and I wish you could see what I see from here, because last year at this time, I was standing here also. I was trying to figure out exactly where the camera was, and beside the clergy and our accompanist, of course, the rest of the room was completely empty. So that was a very sad and unusual feeling, except that we were blessed with having the ability to do the live stream, and so we were grateful for that. But we're more blessed now that even in spite of COVID still continuing, we were able to find a way to be together through the holidays, even through Shabbats during the summer. Obviously, we don't have the full capacity now with everything that's still going on, but the fact that there are people here and there are people watching, we're very fortunate that at least we could be doing that. Whether you're here virtually or in person, it certainly illustrates our resilience and our love for our temple. And I think so many of us couldn't wait to see each other again, besides on little boxes on your television when you happen to be Zooming, or on your computer, or whichever way we did it. But here we are, and it's a testimony to the fact that we are doing our best to get back together. And last night, Rabbi spoke about the dedication of so many of our congregants to our temple, and that there are so many who contribute so much. And we've been able to keep up with what a temple should be because of those people who are willing to give of themselves and do that. We could never have expected the likes of COVID-19. We could never have thought that this year we wouldn't be back to full capacity after last year of being completely shut down. And yet we rose to the occasion, as we always do. Zoom became a permanent entity in our lives, I think. And we learned that there's more than one way to accomplish our goals. We also realized there were some good points too. Even last night, people were saying, well, at least on Zoom, you don't have to worry about the traffic or allow time to get where you're going, or get home late by yourself, so it did have its good points. But through all of this, we did carry on, and we found alternate ways to do things, and meetings took place in new forms, as did school. Luckily and happily, school's in person now, and that's a joy, I think, for everybody, and of course, we're being so careful, and with everything that's going on with COVID-19 and the discussions about vaccinations and the children under 12 who can't be vaccinated yet. And so we have to be so cautious, and we have to follow all those rules. And that's the most important thing, safety and the well-being and the health of everyone. So for all of your patience and all of your assistance, I have to say thank you. That's really the most important thing. The volunteers who've been here and have carried on even more than just being around, but doing all these things that need doing, double thank you. Our board met every month in the little boxes on the computer screens. Committees met, and they worked very hard. Our temple staff were here throughout, so were our clergy and our school staff, and it was hard for everybody because coming to a building that has almost nobody in it and trying to figure out what's safe and what isn't are difficult things to come to terms with. And yet we ended up, just so you all know, creating a reopening committee. That group of people worked very, very hard over months and months, making sure that we knew all of the CDC regulations, all of the COVID regulations that were coming from all different places, and sometimes they all agreed and sometimes they didn't. But we had to figure out what was the safest and best way to be able to come back to Temple Isaiah in person at times. Not everyone all together, we're not there yet, but we certainly hope to get there soon. You know, I've mostly been speaking as if COVID's all over because we are getting to do some of these things, but obviously it isn't. So here's what we need to think about, and I ask you to join me in thinking about that. The temple is here for all of us, but, and I think I've said this many times, we have to be here for the temple. The temple won't continue to be here for all of us if we're not here for it in return. We do need volunteers. We need people who are willing to help to keep the temple thriving and going. We have a lot of committees that have pretty much come to a dead stop during the COVID time, but little by little, people are picking back up and trying to make things happen. So there's a social action committee, there's a membership committee, there's the Parents Association for the school, there's a school committee, there's the ritual committee, there's a building committee. Everyone has different strengths and desires and things that you enjoy doing. Volunteering should be something that gives you a sense of accomplishment and a sense of belonging too. So it's important to find a place or a way in the temple that you could be comfortable and that you could benefit, and so could the temple. The board, of course, is an important group, and every year we have an annual meeting where we vote on the open positions that are going on in the board to have a complete board. And last year, there was a vote at that meeting to reduce the size of the board for the first time, because proportionately with the population of our congregation, the number of people in our congregation, that has become smaller over the years. And so the proportion of board members to congregants was out of sync. So now that board has been reduced in size to continue to be effective. However, we do need people to sit on that board, however small or large it may be. The nominating committee is working very hard to make sure that we have a good board going forward, and some of the positions on the board are ones that are elected positions on the slate, their offices. So this is my 4th year being here at the High Holy Days to speak to you, but I won't be the one up here next year because I've had 2 terms, and now we're going to have a new president and a few other new offices as well. Sisterhood and Brotherhood have seats on the board, and there are interesting positions, and the board is a very active group that has to maintain what goes on in the temple, but they can't do everything, and that's why we need volunteers, and that's why we need committees. And again, we also have to be very careful about our use of the building. The building is not open yet for full use. We are still restricting building use. We're going to send out, after this week, some restrictions in terms of who can meet in the building, how many people at a time, and what kinds of times they would be. We won't be having any kinds of meetings going on during school hours, so that we don't have extra people being exposed to other people. We want our children to be as safe and following CDC regulations as much as we possibly can. We need them to have the space around them and not a lot of people around either at the same time. So we're being very, very cautious. Sunday used to be a great day to gather in the temple. Our dream, I hope, is that next year Sunday will again be a great day to gather in the temple. But this year we can't be having meetings or people congregating in the lobbies or anything like that until things are safe. And right now they're not safe enough. So we make our circumstances safe to meet regulations, and that's part of what we have to do. So we're staying on top of the latest COVID situation, but we still have to function. We still need you. Volunteering is a gratifying experience. And I think you'll find this year to be even sweeter if you can manage to take yourself to a place in our temple as far as a committee or some type of volunteer status to help out with something and contribute to temple life. And if you contribute to temple life, you'll be taking something good from temple life too. It's a wonderful place to be. On top of all of that, we have our streaming. It's something that we can use all through the year at services in this room. And we are very blessed to have had wonderful donors who have made this a reality. And we had a campaign for donations. One of our major donors matched what was donated in that campaign. And then we had another major donor. So we were able to make this work. We have a service that is manning the production at the moment. It's called Live Control. We also have the ability to not have them manage the cameras, but for the cameras to work by themselves. We have a brand new sound system that allows this sound to be heard outside of the temple, outside of the sanctuary, and inside better. At one point, if it worked on live stream, then we didn't have sound in here, and if we had sound in here, we couldn't do live stream. That's all been renovated. Our Wi-Fi connections are renovated. Our internet is completely different and good. So we are very, very grateful for all of that. And obviously, the people that did make those donations had a lot of faith in the temple continuing on. So we certainly want that to be the way things go. And so in closing, I'm just saying that I hope that everybody understands the importance of not just sitting in a service here and there, but also being part of the temple in day-to-day living as the year goes through. I honestly think that you will feel happy and wonderful, and so will we. And I'm going to close with my sincere best wishes to all of you for a sweet and a healthy new year. And my thanks to all of you for all the support that you've given to the temple and that you're giving right now and being cooperative and sitting where we should sit and doing all of those kinds of things. And the people who are watching, we're so glad that you're joining in on our live streaming, and all of these good wishes and good thoughts go to you too. But I thank you for your support and your patience during difficult times, which these certainly have been, and they've extended far longer than we ever thought. And on a personal note, thank you all for your confidence in me. I feel very blessed to have that confidence and that trust, and it's been a wonderful 4 years as being president of this temple. So I thank you for that. We're going to have, as I said, our annual meeting. That's going to be in December. The date will be out. It may be a Zoom meeting as we did before, but it's really important that people do vote, and that's when the slate will be presented, and that will be also when the budget has to get voted on. You'll get more information about all of that, and after that meeting, then the new president will be in place, and the new board will begin being a board, and there will be a very good transition from one to the next, and it's something that is to celebrate. It will be wonderful. My special thanks to all of our volunteers with whom I've been privileged to work over these 4 years, and additionally to our terrific clergy, to our staff, to our faculty, and all these people keep the wheels turning. They're not all volunteers. Many of them are people that we pay to have here, and we're glad to have them. And thanks to them too. And please know that, I already told you about our annual meeting. I don't have to say that again. But it's important that once the annual meeting comes up, that you're there, because we do need a quorum in order for everything to count. But I thank you. I thank you for listening today. I hope that you'll think about some of the ways you may participate and volunteer and be part of Temple Isaiah, and let Temple Isaiah be part of you. Thank you. Shana Tova. Good Yom Tov, everybody.
Thank you so much. I'll turn my microphone on. Thank you so much, Phyllis, for your very important words and for all that you have done for us as president in these last almost 4 years and for times before that, as well as to everyone who has served in leadership positions and volunteer positions in the congregation. one of the things I was thinking of as Phyllis was speaking was the custom we have at Havdalah at the end of Shabbat, when we have the spices and we use the little cinnamon, or the little, not cinnamon, the little cloves for it. What some people like to do is take one of the little cloves with them after Havdalah and carry it with them throughout the week as a reminder of the beauty of Shabbat. The fragrance reminds them. So what I'd like to ask you to do with that in mind is to just take in the atmosphere here, the beauty of the services, the words that have been spoken, the prayers that have been uttered, the music that we have heard, the singing and the playing, and all the wonderful comments that have been shared about how nice it is to be back and how special it is to be back in this holy place. Take a little bit of that with you as you go on your way outside of this room and outside of this building, and keep it with you as you move through the next week and the next year, and remember it as you hopefully contribute to congregational life, and remember how important this place is to all of us. So before we conclude, a few announcements. I want to say thank you again to everyone for coming this morning, to those who are watching on live stream. Say thank you to Calix Jacobson and Dan Fogel again for the beautiful music, and again to Phyllis Stern for her beautiful words. I want to thank the ushers this morning for helping: Sherry Countess, Jay Schoenfeld, Pat Mulrad, Alan Rozovsky, and Phyllis Stern. We will continue our services. This service does not officially end. I say that every year at this time. The service does not actually end because the day is one continuous day of prayer and meditation. But this segment of the service will unofficially conclude in just a moment. And we will pick up again at 12:30 with our children's service. That will be live streamed only. And then at 2 o'clock on Zoom, Rabbi Fisher will be leading a study session, and that will go till 2:45. At 3 o'clock, Rabbi Carroll will be leading another study session until 3:45, also on Zoom. And then we'll be back here in the sanctuary for those who have signed in for it, or you could watch at home on live stream again, for our Yizkor service at 5:15, and that will be followed immediately by Nila, our concluding service, with Havdalah. And we'll be done somewhere around sunset. A couple of reminders of important things coming up in the next couple of weeks. We have Sukkot services, of course, taking place next Monday evening and Tuesday morning. The Sukkot evening service will be will be on Zoom at 7:30 on Monday evening. The morning Sukkot service will be at 10 o'clock, and it will be held here in the temple for anyone who wants to come. But you do need, if you are coming in person, to let us know. Everyone here, of course, is vaccinated as you are able to be here, but anyone who also might want to come, please let them know. They need to show proof of vaccination before coming and register in advance for any in-person program. We will, weather permitting, be out in the courtyard with our sukkah and the lulav and etrog and celebrate Sukkot together. On Simchat Torah, we'll have Zoom services the evening, Monday evening, the following week at 7:30 and 10 o'clock on the following morning, Tuesday, with Yizkor. A couple of very special programs we have coming up. One, we have another Beach Shabbat coming up on Friday, October 1st. This one will be at 6 o'clock, a little earlier because of sunset being earlier than it was in the summer, earlier in the summer. And that will be the same place, West Meadow Beach. So let us know if you're coming, but please do come. Bring dinner with you if you'd like, and share, and invite friends and family to join. The following day, we have a very special weekend. Mort Rosen is going to be leading a wonderful tour. Last night I mistakenly said Stony Brook. It's actually historic Setauket. and we will meet at the designated area. The word has gone out about that, and it'll continue to go out. It will be going out, tomorrow, and will continue to go out between now and then. Please do let us know if you're coming. It will be at 10:30 on the morning of Saturday, October 2nd, as one of our special Shabbat day programs. Following the tour, which will take about 90 minutes, there will be opportunity to join if you would like for lunch if we have enough interest, or go for ice cream somewhere nearby. Let us know if you are planning to come and if you would like to join for lunch and or ice cream, so we can plan appropriately. I believe that's it. Does anyone have any other announcements that I forgot? Okay. So again, our next thing will be at 12:30 in 40 minutes. And then we'll be back in the sanctuary at 5:15 following the study sessions on Zoom. Boker Tov and Gemar Chatima Tova to everyone.